football.
Mm-hmm.
The game has been on the schedule for a couple of years. You made it coming. How big a deal is this to the players to get a shot at Notre Dame?
It's a lot of fun. This is why you come here to play in big time games. And for me, it's actually a little more special. I have two friends on their team. Josh Adams, he played at my high school, and their right tackle, Mike McGlinchey, I grew up and played lacrosse with him. So there's two guys that I know pretty well, and I'm excited to compete against them. And it'll be fun for our community back home to have a lot of ties to this game.
You're going from playing one really good team in UCLA to playing another good team in Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
How educational is it just for guys to see how high you need to raise your game coming off of that UCLA game?
Yeah, that kind of sets the tone of the caliber of team that we're going to be playing this week again. And so, I guess it's good going into it because now we've seen that type of team and how capable they are of playmakers that they have and what they have up front. And, I think that just sets the tone for our team and how we need to elevate our game.
What were some of your impressions coming out of that game? How did it feel?
I was actually very relaxed, I was very surprised how little nerves I had. I just kind of went in and said, just play your game, put the ball in the playmaker's hands, and that's my job. So, I just took it as another game and move on from there.
Your fullback is leading the team in yards per game. You need to get him the ball.
It was actually a check, and they gave us a look, and the ball was supposed to go Croce, so it went to him, and I was happy for him. He's a guy that's come such a long way, and I'm so proud he's actually standing right there. Now he actually got a catch at the end, so yesterday I was happy for him. He got 2 touches, and both were productive plays. And the catch through the 5-yard route, and I thought he was actually going to break a tackle and score, but maybe he needs to work on that.
Looking back at the game, it looks like his helmet was a little chipped up.
Yeah.
You guys are wearing these new helmets.
Uh-huh.
He messed his up pretty early.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. The way he hits and how hard he hits, I'm not surprised that his helmet was chipped.
Matt, you mentioned how you try to make the UCLA just a normal game.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're playing UCLA and Notre Dame in back-to-back weeks, how do you mentally make it just a quote-unquote normal game?
You just approach it and look at the defense and look at what you've seen before, because a lot of teams run the same schemes. They bring the same blitzes and things along those lines. So in terms of structure, you just look at it as what I've seen before as experience. I've seen the structures that they're going to give us. Obviously, they're going to give us some looks that we probably haven't seen before. They're going to disguise things in different ways. But that's why you get in the film, and once the ball's snapped, they get to where they're supposed to be, and you just rely on your past experiences to make it just a game.
Do you get a say in the uniforms, and what did you think of the look on Saturday?
It's an extremely minor part of the game, but it draws a lot of attention. I know that, and we do have a say in what we wear, and I thought the look was awesome. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what we do. The helmets were awesome. I thought the paint job could have been a little bit more durable, but other than that, they were awesome.
That was like in the first quarter, wasn't it?
It was actually my first play from scrimmage. I busted it up, so yeah.
Was it just because just a round goal collision?
Yeah, we ran power off the left side, and I ran into Miles Jack. We had a great collision, and you could see it on film. There's a mixture of white, chrome, and gold sparkles up in there. Looked like a Kesha concert or something.
Notre Dame.
Who doesn't know Kesha? Yes, he does. We were players, man.
Notre Dame has been a fixture on TV every Saturday for forever almost. You grew up watching Notre Dame games. Does this game have any special significance to you?
I grew up watching a lot of college football games. I was never really a huge Notre Dame fan. I do like the movie Rudy. I think it's a pretty cool story. But as far as this game holding significance for me personally, it does because it's the next game. It's our first home game. It's my first home game of my collegiate career. And, I definitely want to give the fans something special, but definitely want to get even in our record book.
What about the Rose Bowl? Did that mean anything to you?
My parents were out there in California. I was lucky enough to have them out there supporting me, and they asked me the same thing, and I was like, yeah, it's awesome. It's great, but when you get on the field, it's another grass field, same white lines on it, 2 end zones, 50-yard line, logos in the same spot. You know, I try to not let the venue or the crowd affect what I do, because it's noise, and if you let it will change how you play, and it will affect you negatively. So.
Matt had good things to say about the leadership, and what's kind of your assessment of how you guys have responded to Saturday and will respond this week?
Well, we started this in the offseason, the core leadership group on the team. I think it's been so effective because we're all on the same page and we all try to preach the same message to the team. So we've just been ensuring the team that it's not the end of the world. Yes, we lost a game. Do we want to win them all? Absolutely. But we lost to a very good team. We've all seen the corrections. We know what we have to do moving forward, and it's our job as leadership to ensure that everybody is doing their part and getting those things corrected. So we will be on top of that.
As a leader, will you look for signs that you maybe saw last year or a previous year that maybe it's kind of drifting off course?
Absolutely. And as one of the few guys, I believe there's only 8 or 9 of us that have been to a bowl game left on the team. And we didn't even play in that bowl game, but we saw the leadership that it took to get there. We saw the individual and the team efforts that it took to get there. So looking for those things, praising when we see positive things that we need to continue, and then fixing the negative behaviors that we see, absolutely.
Matt mentioned it, how well Notre Dame travels, and Virginia Tech travels well too. Does that bother you when you see a lot of the other color, in your own stadium?
Of course, just because I'm a selfish player. I want our fans there. But when you get a program like this, you guys had mentioned Penn State as well. These teams travel well. They have fans all over the country, huge alumni support. So we know we're going to get that, and that's absolutely fine. A packed house is a packed house. It's going to be a fun environment to play in, and we look forward to it.
Especially looking back on tape, maybe particularly with that touchdown they had from Rosen to where Quinn was like blanketing the guy in the end zone. He just threw it in perfectly. How accurate was Rosen, and how tough was that sometimes because he was just putting the ball in perfect spots? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you could do about that. I mean, he had a good game. He was a young guy, and he came out and he played well. I mean, there's nothing you can do when you're on top of a guy and he throws it in the right spot. That's just part of the game, and A lot of people talk about pass rush. How much can you guys help out that pass rush with your coverage and obviously getting those coverage sacks and things like that? Yeah, on our part, I mean, obviously if we're on top of a guy blanketing him, then that freezes up the quarterback a half step. It's a little longer, and that allows David Dean, Mike Moore, Quanti, Trent to get off the ball. Allows them a little more time to get to him, and so we both work with each other.
You're going from playing one really good team at UCLA to another really good team at Notre Dame. What can you take from last Saturday in terms of where you need to raise your game to play a team of that caliber?
So Coach London pretty much told us, like, when we're playing teams like this, they're going to push you to play at your absolute best. So it's like, it's not a team where, like, it's going to be an easy game. We're going to have to be playing at our absolute best in order to compete with this team.
Notre Dame's quarterback had a big game passing, but I know going into the season, Mike Archer expected them to be more of a traditional run the ball,
Yeah.
two tight end. Do you expect to see that Saturday, and will you guys be in the base maybe more than you were this week?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got our game plan yet. Obviously, they're putting that in today, and then we'll get that tomorrow morning. But we're expecting a lot of run, and then they'll line up in some some spread stuff as well, because they have really I guess their quarterback can run and he can throw, so we got to prepare for that too. But yeah, we'll have a lot of base in this week, I would assume.
I assume rush lanes are important with a guy like their quarterback.
Yeah, big time. So I think he had a pretty decent rushing game this past weekend, didn't he? Yeah. So, but I guess they run quarterback power and stuff like that too. But I mean, you're right. Rush lanes are huge, especially when there's a mobile quarterback back there.
What's your assignment on the zone read? I mean, what is kind of your, as the linebacker?
Yeah. So, I mean, it depends based on the coverage and stuff like that. But normally, Mike and I will be responsible for the running back and the quarterback. So, just whoever's to the side, whoever's to the zone side has a running back, whoever's to the back side sits on the quarterback. So
Obviously, you were committed to Penn State at the time. Did you hear it all from Notre Dame in recruiting?
no, I didn't. No.
On that read option stuff, you guys, I think it's called scrape. You guys scrape or you switch?
Yeah, you scrape.
Sometimes or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends, because they'll have the back over or stuff like that. So, I mean, we're basically, I mean, I play Will, he plays Mike, but the positions are pretty much the same thing, because there's situations where I'll be in a Mike, I'll be in the middle of the formation, and he'll be to, the one side, whatever. So, we pretty much have the same responsibilities. It just, it just depends on what side of the off or the side of the defense that you're on.